A stadium fit for the 21st century, the envy of every club in Britain, Ibrox Park, home of Glasgow Rangers. Rangers against Aberdeen tonight, a replay of the match that decided the championship last season, settled by an Englishman.
That's a magnificent goal for Rangers!
A second goal by Mark Hateley gave the title to Rangers for the 41st time, a record. And since then, Aberdeen have never really recovered. With Rangers 4 points clear in the Premier League this season, this scene could well be repeated in 3 months' time. And so this is Ibrox, the new Ibrox. Part of the £20 million scheme to rebuild this great arena was officially opened 2 months ago. 41,500 the capacity now. And it really is an environment which shames the National Stadium of Hampden Park just a few miles away. Good evening. We're here this evening because this match had originally been played on Saturday, but an absolute monsoon hit Glasgow and the surrounding area. 3 inches of rain fell on Saturday alone, and as a consequence, this game was postponed, as indeed was the match between Falkirk and Hearts. So, going into this match this evening, this is how the top of the table stands. Just 4 points separating Rangers and Hearts, and although Aberdeen are obviously out of contention, they have a chance to really put the cat amongst the pigeons by winning here at Ibrox tonight, and so giving Hearts a game in hand and the possibility of closing that gap to just 2 points. But more than anything else this evening, this is all about it being Willie Miller's first match in charge of Aberdeen. Now, Alex Smith was the first man ever to be officially sacked by Aberdeen. 3 wins in 18 games sealed his fate, but his successor was never in doubt. Willie Miller was and is a footballing legend at Pittodrie after playing almost 1,000 games for the club. When Aberdeen were the dominant side in Scottish football, Miller was the dominant figure. Now he's determined to take Aberdeen back to their position of preeminence in the Scottish game. Unaccustomed to failure as a player, you wouldn't bet against his promises becoming reality. And the great thing about this thing is that, of course, he couldn't have chosen a tougher match to start his career as a manager. Rangers are not only 4 points clear at the top of the table, but they have, in scoring 87 goals this season, become the most lethal side in Scottish football. Only one team in British football have scored more goals than Glasgow Rangers, and that is Barnet. So I'm sure that will make Barry Fry smile a bit. Our guest this evening, as you can see, is Gordon McQueen. You know Willie Miller pretty well. He made his first international appearance alongside you.
Yeah, I think that was in Bucharest, Romania in 1975. Willie played in that game. In actual fact, he was a midfield player at the time, but of course he made his name famous playing at the back alongside Alec McLeish. Terrific defender he was as well.
It's easy, obviously, to be wise after the event, but did you, at that juncture, think that this was quite a promising player in the making?
Look, I think everybody in Scottish football knew at the time that Willie Miller had a terrific future, and who would have predicted the future that he did have at Pittodrie? I mean, he really, as you mentioned in the build-up, that he is a legend in Aberdeen and, in fact, in Scotland.
Was he as tough as perhaps his legend makes out?
Well, I don't know what he was like as a manager, but he was certainly a terrific competitor as a player. And I think to play the amount of games that he played for Aberdeen, captain him for such a long period, you've got to be a tough competitor and a tough cookie, and Willie Miller's certainly that.
OK, well, we'll see how his managerial pep talk affects the team, obviously, as the evening goes on. This, of course, is the second night running that we've had a live football match for you from Scotland. Last night's game was a Scottish Cup tie, and it ended in immense controversy.
Well, the referee certainly saw the ball thud into Batby then. And in he goes! Touched onto the bar by Jim Leighton. The reactions are still there. That was superb. But it's McMartin again. Oh, and it's the bar at the other end. McMartin. The game almost froze for a moment as everyone looked at the referee.
Our first reaction is they've gone away with it again. Crawford back to again. Don't know whether there's an awful lot he can do, but he's certainly used an arm or two in there again, hasn't he?
Yes, Sloane, Scott Sloane has delighted those Falkirk fans.
What a strike from Scott Sloane this is. What a start to the second half.
McQuillan will reach it. Eddie Gallagher trying to get under this as it drops. And Craig Westwater came out to claim it. A call. Now Dundee getting into the centre in support of Dodds. Not a penalty, but that's a penalty. Not given.
My first impression now, this is a penalty. Billy Dodds drives into the box, gets his foot to the ball, there it is, that's a penalty. No danger.
Well, Andy Gray's seen pretty clear sure that was a penalty, but the referee, Mr. David Syme, and he was the man who counts, said it wasn't. Of course, he was at the centre of that great controversy in the Skull Cup semi-final last year. What did you make of that, Gordon?
Who'd be a referee for a start?
Well, absolutely.
I mean, the first one looks like intentional handball, penalty kick. The second one, I think Crawford back, he just kicks the ball against his hands, completely unintentional. And the third one, the Billy Dodds, when he was tripped up there, well, they could have 2 penalties for that, didn't they? That was a blatant penalty.
I suppose the referee might say, though, that he wasn't actually going to score. The ball maybe had been lost in the penalty area.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, Billy Dodds is brought down intentionally inside the box, and who's to say he wasn't going to set it up for somebody else? So that was a definite penalty. So I think Dundee feel a bit aggrieved about that, but it was a great goal that won the game for Falkirk.
Indeed. Well, that was last night. This is tonight, obviously, and up above it, somewhere on the gantry, David Livingston has news of the teams.
John, the atmosphere at Ibrox always builds up slowly, but you watch towards the end of this build-up period, the seats just fill instantly. But it's going to be a great atmosphere. The teams are out, and there's some big team news for Rangers. Mark Hateley is going to play, but we can look at the full team lineup now. In goals, of course, Andy Gorham. In defence, Gary Stevens, Richard Gough, John Brown and David Robertson. In midfield, Dale Gordon. Ian Ferguson comes in, Nigel Spackman and Peter Houstra. And up front, Ali McCoist and, of course, as I said, Mark Hateley. The Rangers manager, Walter Smith, his team are 4 points clear as they are about to go into the last quarter of the league. So what's his message to the players?
Well, they can only look back to last season when they played Aberdeen the last game of the season, which they had to win the championship. At one stage, we were even further ahead than we are at the present moment, and we got caught last season. So they know that we can get caught. And a few weeks ago, Hearts were a couple of points in front of us, and we've turned that around. So anything can happen.
What kind of occasion can we expect tonight, do you think?
It'll be an interesting game tonight. I think change of management at Aberdeen. Well, they'll obviously be wanting to make an impression in his first match. And for us, you get used to a style of play from one manager, Alex Smith, and now it's changed a little bit. So we're going a little bit into the unexpected with Aberdeen this evening, because I'm sure Willie will make 1 or 2 changes and bring in bits of his own thoughts.
Well, Willie Miller, obviously a man with his own thoughts, but many people expected big surprises tonight. But as I make it, it's only one change from the team which lost 2 weeks ago to Hibs. Let's look at the full lineup now. In goals, Theo Snelders. In defence, it's Stephen Wright, Brian Irvin, Stuart McKimmie and Gary Smith. In midfield, Brian Grant, Paul Kane, Jim Bett and Theo Tenkat. And up front, it's that deadly combination, Scott Booth and Ian Jess. Manager, of course, Willie Miller. It's his first game as manager. So what does it mean to be here at Ibrox for his first game?
Well, it means a lot. You're playing against the team at the top of the table, and it's down at Ibrox. Big stadium, big platform for the players to perform. A big platform for me is my first game, so looking forward to it.
You played in many great games here as a player, of course, but now as a manager, what do you think the fans can expect tonight?
Well, hopefully a very entertaining game. We always come down here in a positive manner. We'll look to attack Rangers. Hopefully there's a few goals, particularly for Aberdeen. But I'm sure it'll be a good game for everybody watching.
Obviously a big game. It's a sellout crowd. The seats are slowly filling up. Let's see if we get a great game later on.
Thanks, David. Gordon, a couple of thoughts about each of the teams. First of all, Mark Hateley back for Rangers. Does that necessitate a change in tactics for them?
Well, it certainly gives them other options in an attacking sense. You know, if things aren't going too well, they can take the aerial route with Mark Hateley playing, which they can't do when there's other players playing. But and as I say, that's another option. And really, his partnership with McCoist this season really has been something special. And he's been in terrific form as well, Mark Hateley. I know Ali McCoist is scoring a lot of the goals, but at the same time, Mark Hateley's setting a lot up and scored a few goals himself.
OK, Gordon, we'll talk some more after this short break. Kick-off gets ever nearer.
In association with Carlsberg, the FA Cup fifth round replay. Liverpool against Ipswich, exclusively live on Sky Sports, Wednesday at 7.
This is it, sir. Excellent. 9 minutes, then. Nice pair of binoculars, sir. Mm-hmm. They're not service issue? Certainly not. They're Austrian. Oh. Barclay card, is it, sir? What? Did you get them on your Barclay card, sir?
And why should I want to do a thing like that?
Well, sir, you get 100 days free insurance.
Yes?
Well, in case...
In case they get stolen? And who's going to steal them, exactly? Are we about to be mugged by a gang of delinquent haddock?
You could always lose them, sir.
Lose them in a 5-foot dinghy? Oh, dear, I've lost my binoculars. Oh, no, there they are under the seat.
You got your damage, sir?
Will you shut up about Barclay card, Bob? You couldn't damage a pair of binoculars in here if you tried. So, let's hear no more about Barclay card. You see, a man of my experience knows that when he's got a pair of binoculars...
We put a lot into our new Dolmio frozen meals. Freshly made egg pasta, succulent meat, chunky vegetables, cheddar and parmesan, and Dolmio sauce with 2 types of tomatoes and a unique blend of herbs and spices. There's delicious lasagna, irresistible cannelloni, and tempting ravioli. New Dolmio frozen meals. Put the Dolmio smile on your face.
Thank you. And you won't forget to put the rubbish out Thursday evening.
No.
Got to come very early on Friday morning.
Yep.
And you won't forget to let the cat out.
No.
Or the cleaning lady in.
Yep. No.
You will be all right, won't you, darling?
Probably.
There is a powerful pain reliever available without prescription called Solpadeine that has 2 active pain-killing ingredients, paracetamol and codeine. Solpadine's easy-to-swallow capsules deliver relief fast and effectively. When pain strikes, hit back with the power of Solpadeine. Solpadeine has the power to hit pain where it hurts.
What happens when Galaxy chocolate is lightly whipped and blended to create the soft, creamy truffle of ruffled silk, and then wrapped in the smooth silk of Galaxy chocolate? Galaxy truffle. For Easter. In
You know, the ethos here at Ibrox is very clear. Sport is theatre and entertainment. The fans are customers who've paid good money, and some admittedly have paid more money than others, and therefore they deserve to be treated properly. They have 1,000 staff here on match days to ensure that every fast food outlet you can possibly imagine is properly staffed, and the Rangers really are living proof that by spending millions on a new stadium doesn't necessarily mean that you sacrifice performances on the field. And you know, this is the 4th time that these sides have met this season. This is what happened on their three previous encounters.
There's Tenkat, both going to the left, checking inside Nisbet, that's for Tenkat. Here a chance now for Jess. Aberdeen take the lead. Here's a good ball from Booth to Van der Ark, back it goes to Booth, he can take this for a run himself. Facing Spackman. Playing it wide for Van der Ark. Aberdeen want to keep the play at this end of the field. That's good play by Van der Ark. Back it goes to Grant. This should tie it up. That was brilliant. Headed on by McCoy. Here's Hateley. Very neat turn. McCoy's tummy allows Gordon to take over. That's a great effort by Gordon. And by Hateley. A superb finish by Hateley. Here's Hillhouse. The rebound from Tenkat. Aberdeen have equalised. Hateley's ball inside, picked up by McCall. That's fine play by Hateley. His pace is good enough here. It's a great chance for Rangers. That was brilliant. Robertson looking for Hateley. Into the path of McCoist it goes. There's McLeish. McCoist gets the third. Hateley's given that straight to Hillhouse. A chance now for Aberdeen. Hillhouse going beyond Gorham. Still has a chance. Blocked on the line and forced home in the end by Irvin. Aberdeen are back in the match.
Aberdeen very slow to react to a short corner. Gordon with that trick over the ball, that's one of his trademarks. Goff's header. Spackman trying to keep the pressure on. And McCoist! Not a classic, but that scarcely matters for Rangers.
So Rangers are 2-1 up in the meeting so far this season. Aberdeen, so to speak, going for the equaliser tonight. And there's one Rangers player who'll be out there this evening who could make his own little bit of history.
David Robertson will reach Hateley. Oh, it's a lovely touch from McCoist. A terrific goal from Rangers. And McCoist is back with a bang.
One more goal tonight for Ali McCoist, who will make it 200 league goals in his career with St Johnstone, Sunderland and, of course, here at Rangers. And he has Mark Hateley as his partner up front this evening. Gordon, Mark Hateley is a player who struggled a bit when he first got here. What do you think are his great strengths?
Yes, I think you're right. He did struggle a bit, but I think him and Richard Goff are Rangers' 2 most influential players now. Obviously, he's got tremendous aerial ability. I mean, that wasn't a bad finish there. That wasn't a bad finish at all, was it? And they actually miss him badly when he's out now. Obviously, the Hateley-McCoist partnership is by far the most dangerous in the Premier League. Both score lots of goals, and it must be an absolute dream for Ali McCoist to play alongside. And it's just unfortunately recently that he received that injury, and because I felt there was a little chance of him maybe getting into one of Graham Taylor's squads, whether it was a full game against France or the B International. Had a little chance, and obviously that opportunity was denied because of injury.
Well, it's very easy to talk about big men up front, but some clubs don't do too badly with small men up front either. And Aberdeen's front players aren't exactly huge, are they? What about Ian Jess?
Yeah, Booth and Jess, both smashing little players. I think Ian Jess, just every time I see him, he seems to be improving, coming on leaps and bounds. And he's one of those players that he's terrific at turning players. He can pick balls up deep and run at players. He's got good pace. And obviously the most important of the lot for strikers is that he finishes pretty well. Really nice finisher. You know, left foot, right foot. Maybe not an aerial threat like Mark Faitley, as you say, but certainly knows how to stick them away. This in the league game, the 4-0 win at Tynecastle. Sees Henry Smith just coming off his line a little bit, looks up, bends a lovely little right-footed shot past Henry Smith.
OK, well, it's certainly going to be interesting to compare Booth and Jess against McCoist and Haitley tonight. Kick-off is just more than 5 minutes away. Stay with us.
If you're good enough, you're young enough.
Football, to me, is an industry.
And there's a genuine concern of which way the game's going.
In the end, the fan has to benefit.
Get a professional opinion on the questions you, the fans, want asked. Watch the Footballers' Football Show, Sky Sports, tonight at 9:30.
Just how long could we go on singing the praises of a pension from Equity and Law? Equity and Law, home of good pensions since 1844.
Indigestion can make life feel like an uphill struggle. New Rappies from Rennie. Rapid indigestion relief in 4 fruit flavors.
Now Teledisc invites you to take a sentimental journey down a road of everlasting memories. Songs you'll want to hear again and again.
Someday I'm gonna write the story of my life.
Sentimental Journey with Ruby Murray, Frankie Lane, Doris Day, Bing Crosby.
Around the world.
A timeless collection of 50 original hits, including the first #1s of all time, from the stars that will never fade. Pat Boone, Glenn Miller, Perry Como, Nat King Cole, many, many more.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. No other love have I.
Sentimental Journey is not available in any shops, so please make a note of how to order your copy. Sentimental Journey, 50 romantic masterpieces in one very special collection. The complete set of 3 records, 3 long-play cassettes or 3 compact discs can be yours by simply calling this number with your credit card details.
Just what sin have I been guilty of?
Or write to Teledisc at this address. Sentimental Journey from Teledisc, the quality name for the best music collections. Remember, Sentimental Journey is not available in any shops.
Ah, Nescafe, that delectable taste and unmistakable aroma.
I'm just popping out.
Oh, Michael, on your way, would you remind Mrs. Blythe that I've invited her for a cup of Nescafe at 11?
Of course, Ange.
You will be polite, won't you?
Nescafe, coffee at its best.
Well, did you pass on my message?
Of course, she gave it a thumbs up.
What?
Well, actions speak louder than words.
Take a video recorder and double it. The result is the Amstrad Double Decker, just £399.
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
Well, 17 points separate these two clubs in the league table, but it's a safe bet it's going to be very close this evening on what's bound to be a pretty heavy pitch after all that weekend rain. Well, Gordon McQueen has zoomed upstairs to our commentary gantry, where he's joined Martin Tyler.
Thank you, John. Hello again, everyone. The second leg, this of our northern tour, with Anfield to come tomorrow night, having started in Dundee yesterday. There really is a grandeur here at Ibrox to compare with any major stadium in the world. Rangers, initially financed by the deep passion of their fans, they've become a money-making machine now, without any detriment to their football. 4 points clear at the top of the table, a fourth successive league title in their sights. Aberdeen's second visit to Ibrox this season. They won here 2-0 last September, but even that couldn't wipe away the agony they experienced on the last day of last season on this ground, when they were so close to getting their hands on the championship themselves, but they lost the match, and with it the trophy. The grandeur now extends behind the scenes as well. Aberdeen making their way through a new foyer from the dressing rooms, down the tunnel and out into the open. Well, tonight one would expect Aberdeen to work to a familiar script. Rangers. Let's go, come on. Mark Hateley back in the side. Have the league trophy again in their sights. And one would not expect them to stumble in the run-in from the last couple of months of the season, particularly with this sort of support, but you never know. Well, it's not been by any means a hard winter in Scotland, but the Ibrox pitch took a real pounding on Saturday from the rain. It has been a clear day in Glasgow, though, today, and the surface remains sodden. The ground staff have worked very hard. But the postponement has suited both parties. Rangers able to give Ali McCoist extra time to recover from a strain sustained in Scotland's cause last Wednesday. And also they're able to make absolutely sure that Mark Hateley was ready to return. He's been missing since New Year's Day. But both Ukrainians, Kuznetsov and Mikhalichenko, are unfit tonight, as is Stuart McCall. So John Brown and Ian Ferguson keep their places. And the Dutchman, Peter Houstra, comes in for Mikhalichenko. Gordon, a pretty tried and trusted method for Rangers.
Yeah, no real surprises. Obviously, Mark Hateley back on the side. He's become a very important and popular player here at Ibrox. And of course, when Mikhalichenko been absent once again due to injury, it gives Ian Ferguson an opportunity to establish himself at Ibrox.
Well, two of Willie Miller's defenders, Brian Irvine and Stephen Wright, have benefited from Saturday's washout and the extra time to recover from their injuries. Jim Bett is back from suspension to face his old club. But no place at all for Hans Hillhouse, the youthful pairing in attack of the top scorer, Ian Jess, who's got 12 goals, and Scott Booth, who a week ago tonight struck a hat-trick for Scotland's under-21s.
Yeah, obviously a very dangerous front pair, Scott Booth. Ian